Imagine you are living in a chaotic world, where leaders rise and fall, power shifts unexpectedly, and respect is the ultimate currency. What if I told you that the way you present yourself determines whether people respect you or treat you as ordinary? Today, we will explore how historical figures mastered power, influence, and reputation, lessons that are just as relevant today as they were centuries ago. Story 1. The man who became a king by staying mysterious. In ancient Iran, during the 8th century BC, people removed their king because they didn't want one man to control everything. But without a leader, the land fell into chaos, small villages and kingdoms fought each other. Among them was a wise man named Dices. He was famous for solving disputes with logic and fairness. People trusted him more than their own judges. But as time passed, his availability made him seem ordinary. He realized something crucial: when you are always available, people stop respecting you. So, Dices stepped back. He refused to solve any more disputes. Soon, the chaos returned. Desperate, the people begged him to become their leader. This time, he set conditions. He would rule from a palace, no one could communicate with him directly, and people could meet him only once a week with his permission. Surprisingly, everyone agreed. Dices ruled for 53 years with absolute authority. His secret? He understood that scarcity creates value. If you make yourself too accessible, people take you for granted. Lesson 1. The power of exclusivity. The more available you are, the less people value you. Whether in leadership, business, or personal life, maintaining a sense of exclusivity makes you more respected. Story 2. The king who wanted to be too ordinary. Fast forward to France in 1830. King Charles X was forced to abdicate after a massive protest. The people needed a new leader, so they chose Louis Philippe, a man from a non-royal background. Louis Philippe tried to be a man of the people. He wore simple clothes, carried an umbrella, and walked through the streets talking to commoners. Initially, everyone loved him. But soon, they started losing respect. Why? Because a leader is expected to be powerful and respected, not ordinary. When bankers treated him as an equal, they saw no reason to fear him. One day, a businessman even scolded him in public like a schoolboy. The people turned against him, believing he was weak. In 1848, another revolution erupted. Louis Philippe, once adored, was now seen as powerless. He fled the country, proving that a leader must never appear too ordinary. Lesson 2. Appear strong, even if you are kind. Being approachable is great, but never let people treat you as weak. A true leader must balance approachability with authority. Story 3. How a showman destroyed his rival's reputation. In the 19th century, P.T. Barnum, a struggling entertainer, wanted to take down his biggest competitor, John Peel. Peel's magic show was famous for hypnotizing people. Barnum realized that if he could make people doubt Peel's abilities, his competitor would lose everything. So, he organized a free event where he copied Peel's act but staged it as a failure. When he tried to hypnotize a woman, she panicked and ran away, proving that hypnosis was fake. The audience laughed and lost faith in Peel's performances. Even though Peel was actually skilled, people's perception had changed. His reputation crumbled. Barnum had successfully destroyed his competitor without directly attacking him, he just planted doubt. Lesson 3. Reputation is everything. If someone discredits your reputation, even your best work becomes worthless. Always guard your name, and if necessary, use psychology to weaken your rivals. Story 4. When ignoring someone is the best revenge. In 1527, King Henry VIII of England wanted to divorce his wife, Catherine of Aragon, because she couldn't give him a son. But the Pope refused to grant a divorce. Henry had two options: fight or ignore the opposition completely. He chose the latter. First, he stopped sharing a bed with Catherine. Then, he sent her away to a castle, isolating her. When the Pope demanded he take her back, he ignored him too. Instead of fighting the system, Henry created his own, the Church of England, which allowed him to remarry. Meanwhile, Catherine, powerless and alone, died in despair. By ignoring his opponents, Henry VIII stripped them of power. Lesson 4. Ignoring can be more powerful than fighting. When someone provokes you, don't always react. Sometimes, ignoring them makes them powerless and strengthens your position. Story 5. The man who used negative attention to win. In 1836, P.T. Barnum found himself in a dangerous situation. A mob mistook him for a criminal named Avery and tried to attack him. He begged for his life and convinced them to follow him to his circus, where his employer proved his innocence. Later, Barnum discovered that his own boss had spread the false rumor, because it brought massive attention to their circus. Barnum realized that negative attention can be turned into positive publicity. He later used the same trick, spreading a rumor that he had found a mermaid's body. In reality, it was a monkey's torso sewn onto a fish tail. The media went crazy, and people rushed to see his exhibit. His circus was sold out for weeks. However, while Barnum made a fortune, he never gained real respect because people saw him as a trickster. Lesson 5. Attention is a double-edged sword. Gaining attention is easy, but turning it into lasting respect requires real skill. If you rely on tricks alone, people will see through them eventually. Final thoughts. Mastering power and influence. These historical figures teach us powerful lessons. Be exclusive, don't be too available. Appear strong, even if you're approachable. Protect your reputation, one doubt can destroy you. Sometimes, ignoring is the best defense. Attention is powerful, but respect is more valuable. These principles, drawn from the 48 laws of power, apply not just to kings and rulers, but to business, relationships, and leadership today. If you want to master the game of influence, start applying these lessons in your own life. Which of these strategies do you think is most powerful? Let me know in the comments. Want more deep insights into power and influence? Subscribe and hit the bell icon so you never miss an episode.